Hey, I'm Arnie Crims with Butte Forge again. Welcome back. Thanks for coming. And like last time, I talked to you about the hammer handles. This time I want to talk to you about your anvil. Now, you're going to come from somewhere with a beautiful anvil that you're really proud of. Maybe you already have it. You're going to want to set that up on something. As you notice in our shop, I put everything on metal stands, okay? It's not the traditional way. The traditional way is to put it on some form of an oak block. And that's great. That has its pros, it has its cons. So as far as pros go, one, it has the traditional look. It looks like a blacksmith, that's for sure. Two, it's lighter. If you travel and you go around to blacksmith meets, that's going to be a little bit easier for you to deal with. It's not going to weigh as much and a little easier. Another advantage that the oak block has is it deadens the sound quite a bit. This is a lot louder with the metal, okay? However, the dirt does help me out. Okay, that being said, so the wood has its advantage. If you're gonna choose wood, I highly recommend you go with a piece of oak, really tough, or you get a piece of apple, cherry, any kind of hardwood. That's what you really want is hardwood because it's gonna take a lot of beating. When you get a piece of wood, you're gonna have no choice but to go to the feet of the anvil and put a strap over it with a couple of lag bolts. That's going to give eventually, and sooner or later you're going to have to put a new block underneath your anvil. Alright, so it's traditional, don't get me wrong. Here at the shop here at Butte Forge, we put everything on a steel frame, okay? The steel frame has the advantages for me. I can keep the most common top tools that I use, for example like the vertical pick, I use that all the time. I have both sizes because I use them all the time. Another common thing that I've built is a little deal so that I can come in here and forge on something that comes back at me or something. That's common too. It doesn't matter. All my top tools live around the anvils, as you can see. We put all this stuff all around them, okay? Setting up the height is critical, all right? So with the height, this is what you're after. Let's grab a bar. It's the easiest way I can demonstrate this. So you grab a bar. Now let's say you're gonna vein a leaf. Envision a leaf on the end of this. Oh, a blacksmith holds this, and this is scary when it's red hot. But you basically pinch it between your legs, and you need to keep this flat to do your mark out. Okay, as if you're veining a leaf. All right, so this height right there needs to be the comfortable height that you can hold that, and that's all that matters. That's for this, all right? This is gonna get you by 80% of the time with 80% of the rule. Like I said, all shops have an 80-20 rule. Okay, if you notice this anvil, much bigger, a little bit lower. This one is set at this elevation because when my elbow is down, my hammer is like this, I'm flat, my handle is parallel to the surface. This is going to be the maximum blow. This is the most power I can generate, and if I put the anvil any lower, then I'm going to be reaching for the material instead of letting it meet, all right? So, lower, a little bit lower than your common working anvil for the power blows, for big bars, hitting it with sledgehammers, big stuff. Okay. Let's move to this one. This one's a lot taller. If I take the bar and do that, it kind of ramps up and I can't let it sit flat. Well, this is a much smaller anvil. This little guy's about 170 pounds. Has a lot of history and a lot of character. That being said, we do the small stuff with this one. I vein leaves with this one. I do my grape leaves on top of this one. Grape balls are done on top of this. Any fine detail where I'm going to be using a much smaller hammer, and I really want the detail. So when the anvil is up higher, you don't have to work as hard. A lot easier. Okay, those are the three different heights. 80% of the time you're going to use this height, which is where a bar rests comfortably for you to do your chiseling and vein work. This is what you're going to use most of the time. So, pick a piece of wood or get some angle iron and some steel tubing and make yourself a stand. When you get that far, then you're ready to go for on the next lessons. And at that point, we'll get into some hot work, and we will see you soon. Don't forget to press like, share the video, go to the Facebook page, and check out the work. Butte Forge, I'm Arnie Crooms. Have a good one. We'll see you next time.